listening to the GreenSkull podcast,
A podcast for Fife fans, music artists, and creatives alike. Hey, what's up, guys? Before we start the show, just wanted to give a huge shout out to our sponsors, Natural Selection, a brand that's not just about clothing, but a lifestyle. I'm thrilled to introduce the trendsetters of Coachella Valley streetwear, Natural Selection. Natural Selection is all about quality and uniqueness. Their designs are a fusion of street culture and the vibrant energy of the Coachella Valley. All right, what is good? I am your host, MCKG, and this is the GreenSkull podcast, aka DJ GreenSkull. And today we got MK Visser.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
What's good? Thank you for coming. What led you to take the leap and start comedy?
Well, during the pandemic, everyone, was really stressed out. A lot of negativity on social media, in the news. And the only, solstice I had from that, was watching comedy podcasts really during the whole pandemic. So once things started opening up again and I just had that comedy bug in me, my coworkers, I was working in a kitchen at the time as a line cook.
Nice.
And my coworkers were telling me you got to do an open mic. You got to do this. I'm just oh, really? Okay, sure. And this is actually the 2-year anniversary today.
Oh, today?
Today, yeah.
Jeez.
So 2 years ago, this day was the first time I ever did stand-up comedy.
Wow.
And yeah, it's been, I just kept saying I'll do it until the support fizzles out,
oh, man.
Until it gets cringy.
I get what you mean.
But I haven't hit that wall yet, so.
Dang, so 2 years.
Yeah, it makes me really happy. Anytime I'm feeling down, it always I never regret doing an open mic or comedy.
Yeah.
It always brings my spirits back up, even if I bomb. It's a good experience.
Dang.
So
even if you bomb.
Yeah, I know. I guess, yeah. I haven't had that painful of a bomb yet. I mean, I guess it's painful, but I'm just it's part of the process. You kind of embrace it. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, so 2 years of comedy.
Yeah.
Today's marking the day.
Yeah. And it just it helps you just kind of take things less seriously. Everyone was taking everything so seriously during the pandemic.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, it was just a relief.
So take me back to day one. Did you start on social media, or did you clip your own videos at the open mics to kind of send it out?
No, I was nothing's good enough the first few times you do it to
Oh, I get what you mean.
make it permanent like that. It's I'm just glad there were only 5 witnesses that night. So it wasn't until much later on that I felt comfortable posting some material. I don't have much up yet because I am still working out, because it's once you post something, then it's permanent. But I'm still actively working out a lot of bits, so I'm not I'm kind of hesitant to post it still.
Oh, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's your social media game now? Do you when you do a show, do you kind of put your whole set, or is it just kind of just the best parts, the highlights?
I rarely post an actual clip of me doing stand-up. I did yesterday for the first time in a really long time, and that was just a really brief 30-second clip. Yeah, I think I'm still working on fleshing everything out I'm such a perfectionist too. Like I'm gonna like make sure it like I set everything in the right order and like
I feel like everybody who starts something like you're first like a perfectionist at first because you don't want to fail.
Yeah.
You don't want to look bad, stuff like that. I mean, the only way I can relate to that is like because I do music, so when I'm on stage, I definitely don't want to bomb.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm like, it's just embarrassing. I feel like when you bomb at doing anything, it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like it hits the ego, and you might like block it in front of everybody.
Yeah.
But like it sucks.
And then like having to listen back to it too. Like I have so many recordings of me doing stand up. Even when I do well, like I try to sit down and listen to my set and I just like literally feel like running out the room. Like I'd rather just like run down the street than listen to like anything I've ever recorded of myself. It's so painful.
Is it different now or is it
It's
that
the
way?
same.
Oh, it's the same.
Yeah, like I like that clip I posted yesterday. I was just like, ugh.
You cringed?
Like I was okay with that 30 seconds, but like listening through a lot of other stuff and just like I'm my own worst critic. Like everyone else would probably just be like, "No, you're fine," and I'm just like, "No, I said too many times." Like,
how do you prepare for a set?
so usually when I do comedy, it's down in the low desert. I live up in Yucca Valley, so I usually have like 30 minutes to an hour of drive time. So that's like my mental prepare time. Like I try to like think of everything I want to say and I'll kind of like recite it out loud to myself in the truck sometimes. And yeah, that's how I typically prepare.
Dang. How long does it take for you to like from start to finish to create a bit?
It really depends. There's some bits that I'm still trying to figure out the best way to do it. It's like the premise I really enjoy, and it's just like going about it the right way that's like resonates with the audience the best. Because like just because it resonates with me doesn't mean it's connecting with the audience. So it's just like it's a process of like, oh, maybe I need to abandon it for a while, and then like a few months go by and I'm like, oh, maybe I can incorporate it again. So yeah, I don't think I just have one bit that's like I would say is like done, and I've done it so many times at this point now that it's just like I'm ready to move on to
a new one.
Yeah, to like
you. But is it
tightening
it's like
up
good
everything else.
It's a good reaction.
Yeah it's my Tacoma bit. I talk about driving a Toyota Tacoma. And the reason why I got this Tacoma is because I dated 4 guys in a row that all drove Tacomas. And it wasn't like out of spite. Like in my bit, I say like, yeah, I had to one up them. Like it's the most emasculating thing you can do is just getting the newer, better truck that all your exes drove, you know?
Is the truck out there?
Yeah,
it's
nice what I drove here. Yeah.
It's a nice truck.
Yeah. But it wasn't out of spite. It was just like, well, I'm getting a new car and it's a really good car. So like, yeah, I might as well get it.
Sheesh. How would you like describe your style?
My style. So what like kind of really got me into comedy too, not just like all the stress during the pandemic, but like female comedians specifically like sharing their embarrassing, shameful moments and me just realizing, oh, I'm not the only one. Like we're all in this. We're all embarrassing ourselves constantly, but we just don't talk about it because it's embarrassing. But comedians are brave enough to just do it in front of people. So that's kind of like an inspiration for me is to just like make other women, like I'm doing it for other women to not feel so bad about themselves because we all make dumb decisions sometimes, and there's a lot of shame involved with being a woman. Like we're all conditioned to, like especially with dating and sex life, like yeah. So it's about like bringing an open conversation to our fuck ups. Like it's okay to fuck up.
I respect comedians like to the T.
Yeah.
Like I see videos, especially like in the beginning, like when they just start. That's tough.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's hella tough. Because like I feel like some crowds are they're just not it. You know?
Yeah.
And like maybe some open mics, it's just really not the crowd for that. Or like you never know. It's hard to read the room when you first start. But I've seen like when I used to do open mics, you know, after me it'll be a couple comedians or like a singer or something. And man, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's real tough. Like, cause like my job is to entertain you. Your job is to make people laugh. And I feel like making them laugh is a lot harder. I feel
Yeah.
like I respect all the comedians out there that do your thing because sheesh, man. And I'm looking forward to your set on Saturday.
Yeah.
I'm looking
Thank
forward to it.
you.
I want to see like, cause actually I've never been to a local like comedy show. I'm looking forward to this one though.
Yeah, and the scene seems to really be blowing up out here.
It is.
It's just popping.
It's straight
popping right
popping.
now, so
It's
it's good
good.
for all of us. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And it seems like the crowds are really showing up. Like there are a lot of fans out in the Coachella Valley for comedy, and they're really supportive. So
Hell
it's
yeah.
really cool to see that.
No, it's sick. It's like it's bringing more and more opportunities for like every creative.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've probably met more comedians now than ever. I've met more like photographers now than ever because just everybody's like, I feel like we're starting to come to our own.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty sick.
Yeah. Before AI does.
Yeah,
This is like the last generation before AI takes fully over. Like,
man. Like I like AI to an extent.
mm-hmm.
Some things I'm like, yo, that's a little weird, but I don't know. How do you feel about AI?
I just like observe things happening. I don't really have opinions one way or another with things. I just kind of see things as entertainment now. And it's just like, if a robot takeover is going to happen, I'm going to find something to laugh about it. like I'm always
Yeah.
going to find the silver lining of like,
Man, I feel
like I don't have a job anymore, but
Do you think that like eventually there'll be like iRobot where it's like robots help you clean your house and shit?
I feel like we're gonna skip that step and we're gonna become the robot first.
Oh, yeah,
like we're
probably,
gonna be
huh?
cyborgs.
Yeah,
like,
probably.
Yeah.
See, that just sounds crazy, but it's actually doesn't seem that far fetched though.
Yeah.
Like I feel like at now.
Yeah. I know I was looking at an ad for a ring that like reads your hormone levels. And it's
What
only
the-
$300, and then I should plug this in. I don't know the brand or anything.
You're like it's only
Yeah.
$300.
But what I really appreciate about it, it reads your hormone levels and your temperature levels, so it tells you when you're fertile and when you're not fertile. So you know when you.
Sheesh.
It's like when can we get away with fucking without a condom? Like,
Fuck. What else
like-
does it do?
yeah, it's like
That's
instead of
crazy.
like having a ring on your finger for like. This shows me that I'm taken. Like, this shows me that, like, I know what's up. Like, you can fuck me raw. Like,
Oh my god. It's like this is birth control.
yeah, yeah,
And it's true.
yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. I didn't even know that was a thing. To be honest,
Yeah,
a
I
ring?
just saw an ad on Instagram the other day.
Fuck. And it's only $300.
Yeah, and then there's like a monthly subscription linked up with it too. So I don't know how much the subscription is.
Back to this show. How long is your set?
I'm gonna be hosting. I think I'm doing like a 15-minute set on the top, and then Dante and then Maddie Mays is the headliner, which I'm really excited to meet them. I haven't met them yet, but I've checked out their Instagram and their material, what they
Yeah.
post. It's really entertaining, funny stuff. So yeah, really excited about them, and working with the Dirty Desert live.
I've heard of so many names on this, but yeah, I'm looking forward to just even like the food vendor, just to see. And actually, I've never been to Green Dragon. Have you been there?
I've been next door, but I haven't been inside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did a show at El Fuego event space. It's literally right next door. Yeah.
Dang.
And that was with Comedy Degens. Shout out to Brandon Taylor and Chad Bradbury. They
Sheesh.
run those shows, Alex Avila. So, yeah.
That's sick. When was your last show?
That was the last one. It was a couple weeks ago. And then coming up on Valentine's Day, this Wednesday, they're doing a show at the Rock Gallery in Palm Springs. It's going to be a fun like roast battle show. The comics, we're not roasting each other. We're going to be like writing jokes, like competing our roast jokes about certain topics. So that'll be like an interesting joke writing exercise.
So everyone just like caps on something they agree on to talk about.
Yeah, like they sent us like a list of topics to kind of write jokes about, and then like whoever has the best roast joke wins that topic, kind of thing. So
okay, I get you.
Yeah, they're like judging based on our joke writing on certain topics.
Damn, who are the judges? Is like comedians?
Justin Lintz and Emily and Justin Lintz. They're a couple. They both do comedy, and they just moved out here from, I want to say Portland, but I'm not sure. But yeah, they have like a whole gallery to record music at and stuff. So they're really about the community too. So everyone should check out the Rock Gallery as well.
The Rock Gallery. Where's that at?
They are I think they're in downtown Palm Springs. I've been there before, but I'm just having a hard time. Like, I don't know how to describe the area.
Oh, I get you.
Yeah.
It's probably like a little hidden too.
Yeah, it's a small space, but it'll be cool to see it like packed full.
Nice. Yeah, because I feel like a lot of places, like, it's not always out in the open. You kind of gotta like go behind somewhere, and then it's like opens into a big room.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck? That's pretty cool.
Like in a basement somewhere.
I've actually haven't heard of that place until now.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, they did a show I think like a week or two ago as well. That was their first show there, and they said it went really well. So
as far as like comedy, right? What are some of your influences?
Like I was like talking about earlier with like women being made to feel like ashamed and like kind of internalize it and not talk about it. Like, so female comics have been like a big influence, and I really like Rosebud Baker. She's awesome. I love her style. I really like Whitney Cummings. She
Man, I feel like I know the name.
Yeah.
That sounds familiar. I just can't put a face to it.
Yeah. And then I also really like, so Tim Dillon is the first comic that I like fell in love with, that like really got me into comedy at first, because he's just got a lot of political satire that like he doesn't side with any political view. He's just kind of like observing and just making fun of it all, as it's just like a giant shit show kind of thing. And
I get you.
That's like, I really appreciate that satire. Like Sam Talent is really good. He's really intelligent. And then I really like William Montgomery too, because he's so angry. And I get really angry. It's like I need like an element of anger. Like Whitney Cummings is pretty angry. Like Rosebud Baker is angry.
I get you. Damn, I actually don't know a lot of those names, but so like when you do your set, are you kind of like I guess like do you base like your style off of theirs?
No,
like is that
no.
What could we expect at the show?
My style, I guess, is just me. Like just my personality, but like a character of my person, like what I wish I could say that I don't normally say, I guess. Okay. And like I said, like anger kind of fuels a lot of that. Like it's like I'll get pissed off about something, and then I'm like, oh, let me like rant about it and find something funny out of it. And
nice.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds pretty sick.
Yeah, like I guess like I make fun of like gender roles a lot, like because I'm an aggressive female, so like my like friends call me lesbian all the time, even though I'm not. Like I look lesbian, I come across as lesbian sometimes. So
you ever like play with that role a little bit?
Yeah, I do. I have a bit about being like gender fluid, because I'm toxic feminine and toxic masculine. The only consistent thing is how toxic I am. Like, like
I get you.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, like some days I feel more toxic feminine, where I want to pick a fight and then play the victim, and then I'm going to tell all my friends how much of a piece of shit you are. And then some days I wake up more toxic masculine, where I don't want to ask help for directions. Like I don't want to talk about my feelings, and
I get you.
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah.
Sheesh. Also, with your name, MK, is that like your actual name? Is that like your
So my full name is Mary Kate Louise Visser. Mary Kate is my first name.
Nice.
And I've never gone by Mary Kate. The only people that call me Mary Kate are like my aunts, uncles, grandma. But I started working in the kitchen as a line cook, the same one that I was working when I first started doing comedy. And there was already a Mary working there. So they're like, well, what are we going to call you? And I'm just like, oh, I've always wanted to go by MK.
Nice.
I've always been a fan of like Spider-Man. Like I was like, oh, MJ is such a cool name. Like I wish I could just decide one day to go by a different name. And so I did. And like when I started doing comedy, like the first month, nobody knew what to call me because sometimes I would like be like, oh, I'm Mary Visser. Like, oh, I'm MK. Oh, I'm Mary Kate. So like people were all confused and they're like, just pick a name. Okay.
And
I'm
you're
MK.
like, MK.
Yeah.
No,
Like
that's
MK
sick.
Ultra. Like,
MK sounds hard.
yeah.
Like at first when I read your name, I was like, man, it's like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know, it's like the first thing I thought of.
Yeah.
I was like,
Have you
sick.
heard of MK Ultra?
Like the movie?
So
Or just like in general?
it was a CIA program where they were giving out acid to everybody during like the 60s and 70s. Like Charles Manson was involved. Like they had these clinics like in San Francisco for free acid, and they would give acid to they were just testing on people like secretly.
Damn.
And they
No, I
had
didn't- I
like
didn't know anything about that.
bathhouses or whatever with like prostitutes, and they would drug like the guys that would come in.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it was all sorts of messed up, and it's all proven. Like this is
shit.
legit. It's not just a conspiracy theory; it's a conspiracy fact.
What were they trying to do?
They were trying to see how they could use acid as a tool for warfare, for manipulation, brainwashing, like Stranger Things shit.
Oh, okay.
Like
yeah.
just weird human experimentation on LSD.
Sounds
And
about
I've
right.
done a shit ton of acid, so I feel like MK Ultra is like the perfect nickname for me.
I've actually never done like any drugs actually, but how is acid?
Acid is a lot of fun. It's it's a long, like it's like up to 12 hours, so that's like really intimidating because if you're not having a good time, you're like, uh-oh.
Dang, so you could have like a bad trip.
Yeah. I mean, with like any drug, you can have a bad trip, but acid I feel like is more euphoric. Like you feel more elated and like almost like Molly kind of thing, like this like same kind of description as Molly, but more intense, I guess. More weird. Gets weird. But honestly, like I was super shy. I had very low self-confidence. This was when I was 25. I didn't know what I wanted to do in life. I was just lost, and I did acid for the first time, and that like made me realize like, oh, all this like self-hatred, all this low self-esteem, like there's no reason for it. Like you're just trying to be a good person. There's no reason to like be hypercritical of yourself. So I like started learning how to like express myself and be who I am now. And so it changed my life in a really positive way, but I had to stop doing it.
Damn.
Like I learned everything I needed to learn from it. And then I'm like, okay, I don't need to do this anymore.
You're
So
like,
it's,
I got it. I'm good.
yeah.
Mine's right.
Yeah. And like I did it again for the first time in years, like a couple months ago, and it was a good time. It was a positive experience, but it just reminded me of like, I don't need to be doing this. Like it's way too long.
I get you. How long
Yeah.
does that usually last?
Like 8 to 12 hours, depending on
Damn.
how much you take.
God. Yeah. So I mean, I assume you take a day off, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
it's like you can't really do much after. I guess.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Like, what is that usually like? Because I don't know anything about this stuff. Like, does it make you like slumped, or are you still able to function and
Yeah.
do normal day tasks like go to the store or something?
sometimes like your dexterity, motor skills like get weird, but the best thing, like music, doing like playing an instrument or singing or jamming with friends, like that is the best on acid.
Dang.
Like I play flute as well.
Sick.
I've been playing flute since I was 11, and so when I played my flute on acid for the first time, like I feel like it's just an extension of my body now. Like I got fused with it, so I don't even have to think about like what note I'm playing. Like it's just like singing for me now.
Sheesh.
So that would you should try it out. I do not endorse illegal drug use.
I've been told like from friends, they're like, dude, like if you don't want writer's block, just smoke weed. It'll help you. And I'm just like, man, I don't know. I'm not against anything. I just never tried it.
Yeah.
It doesn't really interest me to try it, so I just never.
Yeah.
You know, that's crazy.
Yeah.
8 hours.
It's definitely an
Jeez.
upper. Like like you can like be dancing all day on that.
Damn. So like, do you like see stuff?
I usually
Is it one of
don't
those?
take that much.
Oh, okay.
I have seen some, like when I have taken higher doses years ago when I lived in LA. Like I've had experiences of ego death where I was like laying in my bed staring at like popcorn textured ceiling, and it just like turned into an ocean, just like
Sheesh.
waving, and I was just like finally felt what it was like for the first time in my life to not have like thoughts.
I get you.
It was just like I just felt at peace, like I just existed without having to think about it, and it was a beautiful moment.
Like, I don't know. Do you take edibles?
Yeah, when like I'm feeling sick or like I just need to like catch up on rest, I'll take
Oh, I
an
get you.
edible. But I can't do sativa because it gives me headaches. So unfortunately, like weed just has to be like all downers for me. I used to enjoy sativa a lot, but yeah.
What about like CBD?
CBD, I don't do as much. I don't have as much of a need for like that kind of relief of like body aches or that kind of thing. So I'll usually get like edibles that have CBD in it, but it's not like a
Nice.
big deal. Just
get
kind
you.
of take the cheap stuff.
Have you ever been like, I guess, high while you do stand up?
I've done stand up on shrooms before, but I lose my train of thought really quick.
Sheesh. No.
It's not, I don't recommend it.
Dang. I've messed up a couple shows from just drinking.
Yeah.
Like I'll be like pre-gaming and I'm feeling it, and then it's my turn to get up there. There was one time where the homie, I was rapping and he cut my mic off, and he's like, I went up to him and I was like, what happened? He's like, bro, you're not making any sense. And I'm like, damn, bro. So I just told him, you know what? You're right. Like, I can't do this, dude.
It's just mumble rap, right? You just developed a new style.
Yeah, I was legit like mumbling.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and then he was like, don't worry, I got you. He did a
He's
little
speaking
DJ
in
set.
tongues.
Yeah, like everyone's looking at me like, this guy, what is
This food.
Yeah. And I just got stuck. It's just too much drinks.
Yeah.
Too much drinks. So I don't do that no more.
Yeah, like I've gotten stoned before going on stage and bombed terribly.
Dang.
That's probably like the times I bombed the worst was when I smoked weed before thinking it was a good idea.
Do you remember the first time you bombed?
The second time I did an open mic, maybe the third, I can't remember.
Like, how do you rate the bomb? Like, is it just you're judging yourself, or is it like everyone like booed you off basically?
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? Like, how would you judge
I
the
haven't
bomb
been
right here?
booed yet.
'Cause
Usually, I mean, it's hard to say because sometimes I'm like, I bombed, and like all the other comics on the show were like, no, you did great. It was the audience. And I was just like, I don't know if I believe that. And then like other times, like, yeah, like my friends will just be like, yeah, you bombed. I'm like, cool.
Shit.
But it's all so supportive. Like there's never like doing comedy down here is much easier for me because I don't know a lot of
I get
people
you.
down here. Where up in the high desert, it's a really small town, so the pressure is really on. So if
Dang.
I bomb, like it's like all the like there's like 12 people in the audience that work with me. And then there's
man.
like 4 people that I used to work with or that I see all the time or used to dog sit for me. And then just like other acquaintances. So I'm just like, my whole reputation is like, feels like it's on the line. And they're all really supportive. Like, and I don't think I've like bombed too badly, but yeah, it definitely adds pressure when you know half the people in the audience. I'm just like, this isn't fun anymore. It's fun. It's so much more fun when you could just like I can say anything I want and I don't have to worry about any like repercussions from it.
Like
'cause
judgment.
I'm just gonna bail and leave. These people are never gonna see me again. Like
I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean by that. Like, I feel like the times that I have bombed were like when it was totally like irrelevant, like it didn't really matter. But for some reason, it killed me. Like, cause I guess I care that much about my craft. I don't want to be whack, So like when let's say like your first time bombing, did you ever think about like, man, maybe it's not for me?
I haven't had that moment yet.
That's good. No, that's good.
I guess I do care what people think of me because like I want them to have a good time. I want it to be worthwhile, but at the same time, I don't care enough to like have it affect me too deeply. If I bomb, I'm just like, well, these people will never see me again, and if they do, I'll cross that bridge when I get there.
That's a good way of looking at it, though, because
Yeah.
it's more comfortable for sure when you don't really know anybody in the crowd. But also, I feel like, at least for myself, I feel like, man, like I have to kill it, especially if I know all of you. I'm not gonna look like a dork, so I'm gonna kill it. But yeah, I know what you mean. As like a comedian, I'm pretty sure like you've developed thick skin along the way, because I, like, for example, like hecklers. Have you ever been heckled when you're on stage?
Yeah.
What was that like?
It used to be scary at first, but it depends on my mood. Like if I'm angry, I'm like I'm ready for someone to like heckle me.
Somebody say something right now.
Let me let this aggression out on you. How dare you?
How do you normally deal with a heckler?
I'll just say an example of the last time I had a heckler. It was at an open mic at Coachella Valley Brewing Company. And it was this guy, he had too many drinks and he was with a group of friends. And by the time I got on stage, like he already had like knocked over the bar stool in front of him and like just
Sheesh.
like sloppy drunk, and I
Sounds
work at a
about
bar.
right.
I bartend and I serve, so like I see this stuff all the time. I'm just like, oh man, you're embarrassing yourself. Like but I was like asking rhetorical questions to the audience and he was like answering literally and then like asking questions to me as I was trying to do my bit. So then I was just like, dude, like what's going on here? Like do you want to sign up to do the open mic? Like the sign up sheet's right there. Also, like who brings this guy out in public? Like
Yeah.
and I was like, you
digging.
can't even handle your beer. Like, I hope you didn't drive here. And he's like, no, I walked. And it was right after the hurricane. So everything was flooded. Like the whole street was flooded. And I was like, well, yeah, watch out for the puddle out there. And then I was just like, I hope he drowns in the puddle out there. Just like wishing death on someone in the audience is always fun.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Was
And
it
he was really embarrassed after that.
Oh, okay. So that was a W.
Yeah. All the comics were like, yeah.
Dang. Have you ever been heckled by a comedian?
Yes.
Sheesh. The
They
battle
were
is
too
on.
drunk too. Like it's usually when you drink too much that's how it happens. Like when you see those crowd work bits or whatever, the heckling bits online, it's always a drunk person just acting out of line.
How many times would you say, like, on average? Like, is it a thing? Like, every comedy show, there's got to be one.
I would say it's more rare. It really depends on the venue, the context of the situation. Like a lot of the like smaller shows out here, they're like, so like if you go to like a comedy club in LA or New York or something, they have the host comes up and is like, if you heckle, you will get kicked out. And they have the
Nice.
security, they have everything for that.
No, that's good.
But like for smaller shows, we don't have security. Who's gonna kick a heckler out? So we can't say that at the beginning of the show. And like,
I get you.
yeah. So
That's actually good though, because like at least you get your jokes off,
yeah,
you know, and like you don't have to worry about like getting stopped or anything like that.
yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
But I do kind of feel like maybe that's like the proving ground, you know, like how do I handle this person?
Yeah, it's definitely a skill set to learn to like it's improv. You're just like being funny on the spot, which I am still like that's not a strength of mine, but I'm better than I used to be, that's for sure. Yeah.
Have you took like improv?
I took a couple kind of classes.
Have you ever thought about like acting and stuff?
No, I've never been interested in acting. Like I was because I played flute as like through middle school and high school. I used to play for musicals, but I was like never interested in being like the one on the stage. And I still don't really like I don't like being the center of attention. I'm not trying to draw attention to me. I kind of appreciate comedy for like the art of it.
I get you.
Like I'm not trying to like get famous or whatever. Like I just want to be good at what I'm passionate about, and like it's nice to be recognized for being good at something, but it's not like the main motivation behind it.
Oh, okay, I get you. So like with I guess like your drive now, do you want to hit like bigger venues?
My goal is not necessarily like where am I going to end up? What am I going to be doing? Like my goal is just be the best version of myself. Like I just want to see how far I can go with it just like as a personal thing. Like it's a skill that I like and want to get good at. Sick. And I want to be undeniable.
Nice.
Yeah, like I don't want to like try to weasel my way into spaces that I'm not ready for yet, kind of thing. Like I'm just trying to just like once I'm good enough, then it's just gonna happen organically, hopefully.
I get you. Yeah, like the wise words of the big homie. I remember I asked him like, bro, like how do you go from one venue to another venue? And he was like, don't even worry about trying to grow. He's like, it'll come naturally. It'll just happen.
Yeah.
And he's like, just go where you're celebrated, not tolerated.
Yeah.
And I was like, that really helped me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And like after I killed it and like I just didn't get the result I wanted because it was a contest, and he gave me that like, you know what, dude, like if it was me I would have picked you, and like his opinion really mattered to me. So I was like, damn, dude, like that's some real shit right there, because I feel like you can really put yourself into positions as far as like growth when you just put yourself in the right places, you know, like
yeah,
you never want to be somewhere that people don't want, you know what I'm saying, or like vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, for like when you do shows, like what's like the biggest crowd that you've done before?
It would have had to be a show out here, either at Coachella Valley Brewing Company. They like have a space in the back where they brew the beer, so it's like a bigger area, more seats.
Oh, yeah. I performed there before.
Yeah.
Wait, are you talking about the one in Thousand Palms?
Yeah, Thousand Palms.
In like the back?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been there. It's
Yeah.
cool. It's pretty sick.
Yeah. Yeah, and like they have the comedy festival there. They're doing it's going to be the third year. Dakota Miracle produces it. It's going to be March 24th. So,
Damn.
yeah, in like a month and a half or so.
Sheesh. And you're on it too.
Yeah.
I think I've seen, maybe you posted it or somebody posted it, but I did see like there's a bunch of names.
Mm-hmm.
How does like
Yeah.
a comedy fest usually work?
So the last 2 years it was just one day and it was free. But
Okay.
this year it's 3 days and it's going to be ticketed. So I'm
Okay.
not sure how it's going to work this year, but I'm sure it'll be cool.
Because that's a lot of names. Is that just like 30 minutes, and then people just kind of like kick it, drink beer?
Yeah. And then I know I have a promo code for that, so I can give the promo code to you
Send it over.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like really like get into this space. Like I really want to like see the lifestyle and see like how people move. Like how do you get gigs? Are you guys just kind of like a community and you guys put each other in it?
Yeah. So because I produce shows up in the high desert, next show is going to be February 24th at Frontier Cafe, by the way.
Nice.
But yeah, like I'll book comics from like LA and San Diego because it's just a short drive or relatively short. And then like I'll have like locals come up to do shows there, and then I get spots down here at local shows. And what was really like reassuring, like I kind of took December and January off for the most part and didn't really do a lot of social media activity. Like I wasn't on my game like I see like everybody else is, and I was like kind of getting down on myself. I'm like, am I like losing progress by taking a little break? But once like January started rolling around, like people were reaching out to me, and I was like, this is so reassuring and validating. Like I can take like a little mental health break and still like be in it. And so yeah, it just like I've been getting opportunities brought to me. I'm really grateful. I hope that
that's crazy
keeps coming.
That's awesome. I know what you mean though by taking a break. I've took a couple breaks too, and like you see like people move in, they got like certain things that they got going on. You're like, dang, that could have been me. And then you're like, fuck, like
it's like the FOMO kind of thing.
Yeah, it's so weird. Social media is like that.
Yeah,
like it just makes you kind of forget who you are for a second. I don't know why. Like I think it's just comparing.
Yeah,
you know, you just look at someone else and you're like, well, I'm pretty much at the same caliber. Like, why didn't I get chosen or whatever? But yeah, I mean, it just proves, like, see what happened now is like now you got all this stuff going on. So I mean, it's a break's always good. I always feel like a break's good.
Yeah,
because it's like social media in general, like I don't know exactly how much you post, but like that's a tough game.
Yeah,
it really is. Like no one really cares. Like likes don't matter. Like nowadays I just post just to post.
Yeah,
like this is what I'm doing. If you guys like it, cool. Like,
you have to like be some cool. Kind of removed. Yeah.
Yeah, like I do the post and ghost.
Yeah,
that's it. That's
good. I'm like constantly checking the likes. Like, oh, I got 2 more likes in the last hour.
Yes.
Why didn't that person like my reel? Like,
it's all good.
Yeah, I get in my head sometimes about that stuff.
Have you ever thought about putting yourself on streaming?
Like live?
No, I mean like well that too, like stream yourself live on Instagram when you're on stage, but like also like I've noticed like some comedians, they put their like their their specials or parts of their specials on like Spotify, and you could listen to like certain bits. It'll say like hooker at a bar I met or some shit, and then it'll tell you the story. Have you ever thought about like doing stuff like that? Maybe
later. I'm still so new to comedy that I don't know. I need to really get on recording videos. So I just got a new iPhone for that reason, because my last phone's camera was all wonky. So
I get you.
Now I need to get an actual tripod. That I have like a really shitty tripod, so now I need to get like a better tripod and like actually be consistent, because like you never know when you're gonna like say a bit exactly the way you want it to, and you should just record every single set you do just in case. And then because it's like there's maybe who knows how many people are at the show, like 30 people can see you do that, and like they might go home and talk about it, but like if you post it on social media immediately, like hundreds of people are gonna see whether they like it or not.
Yeah, like when you do shows, right, do you ever do like a meet and greet after? Like do you meet people who like your jokes?
No, I don't think I'm important enough for that. I've never thought of I'm like so antisocial too. I'm a weird like walking contradiction. And like I just don't really like I don't know how to small talk. Like so I'll just like get fixated on a topic or something and just ramble. I would rather like ramble about something, but most people like it goes over their head, and it's just like like my social anxiety just like I just start rambling about weird shit, and people are just like, I was just trying to talk about the weather.
Like, man, what you said resonated. You're like, awesome.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. But yeah, I tend to kind of try to avoid people. I mean, I work like I work in restaurants, so I'm always like working with customers and people, and you kind of just learn to like
Yeah.
create a wall, like
I know
a
what you mean.
barrier. Yeah.
I know what
I'm
you
very introverted. Like I spend a lot of time alone. And then I come out of my hole to like make stupid jokes on like, I'm gonna be naughty, I'm gonna say some crazy shit, and then go back to my hole for a week. Like
You guys have no idea what I've been thinking of.
yeah. Yeah.
I know what you mean though, like the small talk and like when you don't know the person, right? And then like they're trying to like, break down the barrier, and sometimes it's just weird how they like approach it. So I don't know. I know what you mean by like that.
And then like I share such personal stuff in my material too that like I've like had people that are like fans of me like approach me after shows, and like I don't know how much like they know me actually. Like they actually seem to know me, and I have no idea who these people are.
Like, I know you.
Yeah.
You're like, no.
Yeah. And so like yeah, it gets like kind of awkward because then I'm just like kind of taken off guard, like what, like you know me, this is weird.
Jeez. Like how personal would you say that you get up there? Like from, I guess like a scale from 1 to 10.
I'll like tell stories about like hooking up with guys and stuff, so that's really personal. Now it's out there for the whole world, so I don't consider it personal anymore, but like for other people that would be really personal. Like
I get what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody's. Do you ever like try to like incorporate things into your set, or is it just kind of like do your set?
Would incorporate like what?
Like I don't know, like sound effects, or like you punch a pumpkin. I don't know, like do something. Stuff like that.
The bit about like me being toxic masculine, one of the things I like to say is like I like to bully guys into doing stuff they don't want to do by calling them a pussy. And then I'll like point at a guy in the audience and be like, hey, you want to show how much of a man you are? And then they're like, what? And I'll like get up on stage and do 10 push-ups. And they're like, what? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm like, what are you, a pussy? And I get really
It probably works too.
Yeah.
It probably works.
And then I'll do push-ups. I was like, come on, I'll do them with you. And then we do push-ups on stage together.
Fire.
So yeah, that's kind of so like
nice. Yeah, I feel like if you pick the right guy,
yeah,
he'll do push-ups.
Yeah.
He'll be up there. He'll be like, what?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
And yeah. Yeah, it's always someone like that's a good sport. I've tried doing it to Marines before because where I do comedy in 29 Palms, it's right next to the Marine base, and they don't tolerate it. They're like, I get this all day. I'm not getting this on my day off. Like, like I am not listening to this bitch tell me to do push-ups.
He's like, you will not break me.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn.
I was like, oh, I thought it would work more on the Marines, but apparently they're way more hard to crack. Like they're super stubborn. Like they show up to these comedy shows and they don't want to laugh. And I'm like, what are you guys even doing here?
See, that's weird.
I get it.
I always find that weird. Like, I mean, I always bring it back to like shows because like that's the only way I can relate. But it's like, man, like imagine going to a show, right? And you're just there to not have fun. So you're telling me, okay, like let's say people went to the club. You went to the club and you're not dancing.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. So you went to a comedy show and you're not gonna laugh. Like,
yeah,
that's so weird, man. Like
some people just don't want to have a good time.
I know, I'm like, look, at the end of the day, you paid.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you paid.
Mm-hmm.
So you do with your time whatever you want. Like, do you find it like rough when you have like up there? If you have a room full of Marines, is it just dead?
Depends on how drunk they are.
I guess that factors in.
So
too.
if I'm like talking about sucking dick, they love it.
Sheesh.
And I'm like, a lot of the time I'm like kind of making fun of them and they're just kind of too far gone. I don't want to say too stupid, but they're just drunk. They just they're just like, whoa, it's a girl talking about sucking dicks. What's your name? Give me your number at the end of the show. Like,
damn.
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, none of them are brave enough to actually come up and talk to me though. So they'll like heckle me from the crowd, just being like, because I'll just like say like, yeah, who would want to date me kind of thing, and then they're just like, what about me? Like they just like, guys are awful. Yeah, because it's like a lot of my material is making fun of like that hyper masculinity, and it just goes over their heads. And it's like, yeah, a lot of blue collar crowds, they just love hearing me talk about like my like the dirty material that I have.
I'm sure they probably eat it up for sure.
Yeah, it's like they're not even noticing like the nuance of it. They're just like, oh, she said dick, yeah.
It's like a trigger. They're like,
yeah.
What'd you say?
Yeah, exactly. They're like, I'm paying attention now.
All of a
I thought she was
sudden.
annoying before, but
You yourself as a comedian, have you ever felt like a joke has went too far?
like offensive.
Yeah.
Sometimes. And it's not that necessarily I'm being like really offensive. It's just like the crowd's just uptight. Because I don't think what I'm saying is offensive. Because if like I'm making like it's sarcasm or it's like satire, so it's not real. But like I do make fun of gender fluid people, so depending on the crowd, like if someone looks like a barista from Portland, like I'm like, ooh, they're not gonna like this. Like, yeah.
Because I've always wondered, like I've seen like the people getting offended at a comedy show, and I'm thinking to myself, and why are you here?
Yeah.
Like I've always wondered that. Like it's a show, bro.
Yeah.
Like, this is comedy. We're supposed to like be able to laugh together.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I just
like
kinda wanted to know.
it helps to like address that they're not having a good reaction to it too. Like I have like a tag where I say like I hate women, and like out of context that sounds bad. Like it's not true. It's obvious it's not true. But when like all the women are look glaring at me in the audience, and I'm like, well, it's okay for you to hate me because like I'm toxic masculine. I'm part of the patriarchy. You're supposed to hate me. Like it's the natural order. So it's like I address it like, yeah, you're doing the right thing by having that response kind of thing, rather than like being like, oh no, nobody's laughing. Because then like you'll get a response, like a more positive response after addressing it. People loosen up a little bit because then they're like, oh yeah, she's joking. Like I'm not serious.
Before we wrap up, is there anything else that you wanted to touch on?
Just we should make a point to. So I got the show on Wednesday at the Rock Gallery on Valentine's Day. It's going to be a roast show. That'll be really fun. And then Saturday, we got this show. The Dirty Desert Live production crew is putting this on at Green Dragon in Palm Springs. And then I'll be producing a show February 24th at Frontier Cafe in Yucca Valley.
Hey, well, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this. This has been a good time.
No, it was good. It was good.
Yeah.
Yo, GreenSkull Podcast, MCKG, DJ GreenSkull. Peace.
You're listening to the GreenSkull podcast.
A podcast for Fife fans, music artists, and creatives alike.